I just found out my husband's family pushed him to marry me instead of his ex, and now I can't help but feel like I was only ever his perfect little placeholder. I, 36F, have been married to my husband, 38M, for 2 years now. It's a first marriage for both of us. His family has been very good to me. They immediately accepted me, welcomed me in, started including me in family events, and really made it not even a second thought to say yes when he proposed after a year of us being together. I noticed on social media that there are always likes from a teenage boy on posts that he puts up about me. I thought it was a bit weird that he's friends with a teenager, so I looked through the photos I could see on his profile. There are a few with my husband from about 8 to 10 years ago as well as another woman. When I asked my husband, he said that the boy is his ex-girlfriend's son. He explained that they were very serious but that she had ended up getting married to someone else. This seemed odd to me, so I asked my mother-in-law about her the next time I saw her. My mother-in-law rolled her eyes and said, "Don't even mention Val. I'm so glad that you came along because that girl was so bad for him. She was unemployed, a single mother, and just very trashy. We never would have accepted her. I am very successful career-wise and well-established. My family is very prominent in the community and well-regarded." The more I thought about it, the more it really felt like my background had more to do with things than anything. I asked my husband about Val again and asked if he would have married her if not for his family. He said that one of the biggest reasons she chose someone else was because his family refused to accept her. When I asked what was different about me, he responded, "She was Camilla and you're Diana." I asked him if that meant he would marry her if anything happened to me. He shook his head, laughed, and said I was being ridiculous, and that he didn't think like that. I told him I wanted him to remove and block his ex and her son from his social media immediately and to stop communicating with them. He's told me that he has a cordial relationship with both of them and that he doesn't feel it's fair of me to ask him to cut them out. Is there a good way for me to deal with this knowledge? I'm losing sleep over the fact that I feel like a placeholder that is there to please his family and that he'll go back to her once his parents are gone. I'm starting to doubt every interaction I ever had with him. When I bring it up to him, he gets upset and tells me to stop dwelling on his past. I wish that I'd never known this because I feel like all of my happiness has been drained. Is there a good way to approach this? Edit to add. They broke up 9 years ago, she dated someone else, married him, and has since divorced. From what I understand, she started seeing this other person because he wouldn't commit to her. Update, 3 weeks later. Thank you to everyone who responded to my previous post. A lot has gone down since I posted, and not much of it has been good to be honest. I'm starting to wish that I'd left things alone, but I guess I'm stuck now. So I sat down with my husband and told him that this whole Val thing was really bothering me, that I'd never heard her name before for someone he held in such high regard. He explained that she had cheated on him and had married the guy she cheated with. They stopped speaking for a while but they started being cordial again as she was having problems in her marriage and through her divorce. He swears on his life that there's only friendship there, that he can't ever forgive her, and that he has no interest in her romantically anymore. We share location history on our phones, and have cameras on our house, so I know he's not lying about seeing her. My husband was my first in a lot of ways. Everything except my first kiss. So I tend to be a bit more jealous than others. My husband has more of a past and it makes me very uncomfortable even though I know it's a reality that I have to accept. I'm also diagnosed as on the autism spectrum, so I tend to be socially awkward and miss certain cues, which caused me not to really have close relationships up until him. I was over at my parents' house telling my mother about Val. She kept telling me not to worry, that everyone has a past, and that he obviously chose me. Little background, my father is a girl dad. I'm the third of 4 girls. He's been my protector my whole life, and he will go after anyone that hurts me. Dad overheard Mom and me, and came into the kitchen. "Are you serious right now? He's talking to Val again? I'm going to kill him." I asked my father how he knew about Val. I looked at my mother and she was looking at him with a horrified look. He said he overheard us, and it's not right for him to talk to other women. They tried to talk around it but I demanded an answer and they finally relented. My mother admitted that they had arranged my marriage. We'd been seeing each other for a month and I met his parents. Shortly after, his mother called mine, explained about Val, how they were afraid he would go back to her, and how they wanted to do everything they could to make sure that their son married the right girl. I asked my mother why she agreed, and she admitted that they were afraid I was gay and that I would never have children. She said that's why my husband was immediately invited to every holiday. That's why he was introduced to multiple relatives in a very short time. That's why they referred to him as family before he proposed. They were trying to set the tone in my mind. My head was spinning. I told them I had to go and I couldn't talk to them anymore. I drove home and felt like I couldn't breathe. I walked into our house and told my husband everything. He laughed. He actually laughed. He told me that he'd figured it out a while ago and thought I had too. He told me that his parents paid for me to go on vacation with them. They made a point of getting everyone in the family to share how much they like me. They gave him extra gift certificates to take me out to dinner and other events. His mother cleaned his apartment and did all of his laundry while he was at work so his nights and weekends were free for me. When he said he was going to save the money for a ring they gave it to him, and they kept telling him what a good match I was for him. He asked his parents while we were engaged if it had been the plan to keep him away from Val, and his mother admitted that it had been. He told me that he fell in love with me while we were together. What he feels for me is real, and that he loves the life we have together. He said it doesn't matter how it started because what we have is strong and real. I don't know how I feel. I can't even talk to anyone because I'm apparently the only person who didn't know this happened. I feel like such an idiot. I am furious with his parents for doing this, furious with mine for going along with it, and hurt that he didn't tell me the truth once he figured it out. I do not know if I want a divorce. My husband has been trying very hard to be supportive of me. I've told him I don't feel like talking. He keeps asking me if he can get me anything and asking me little questions to try to get me to talk, but I can't even get my feelings straight right now. I feel betrayed by every person who is supposed to care about me. I have no idea what the heck to do now. Reddit rave, OP hasn't made an official update yet, but in the comments she says that her and her husband are still together and trying to work through everything that's happened. They've decided to start marriage counseling and have their first appointment scheduled soon. She says her husband has been supportive and open with her, but she's still struggling to wrap her head around everything. She's really angry at her parents, at his parents, and at the whole situation. Coming from a conservative, suburban Christian family, the idea of an arranged marriage feels completely out of place, and it's been a lot for her to process. The hardest part for her seems to be the doubt it's left her with. She's wondering if everything she believed about her relationship was a lie. Was she just chosen to keep both families happy? Was any of it real? She's described feeling like a placeholder, and it's been heartbreaking for her to deal with. Still, OP says she's doing okay overall. There's a lot of anger and hurt, but she's focusing on the counseling and taking things one step at a time. Hopefully we get another update soon, but it's been almost a year.